everybody, and welcome to this month's roundtable hosted by me. So, as an introduction, my name is Matt Blackwell, and I'm Assistant Vice President of Solutions Engineering with Wejo. So, this month we are going to be addressing a few of the questions that have come in from a few customers and from a few interested parties. Actually, how do we get connected vehicle data? Without going sort of too technical, it's a really clear distinction around the fact that unlike a lot of fleet management providers, we don't leverage any aftermarket retrofitted device at all within the vehicle. We are not present in the vehicle. We leverage connectivity which has existed with the OEMs for, in some cases, decades now. At a very basic level, the data is actually coming from the head unit of the vehicle through an embedded LTE SIM card. Now, that data is then stored within the vehicle and sent via 3G, 4G, 5G, and probably soon to be 6G connectivity. Now, that data itself then makes its way to the OEM. So this is through a variety of different cloud methods, so public cloud, private cloud, and then that data is then transferred to us into our Adept platform. So the second question we had was, how do we make connected vehicle data available? So I suppose this is where we start to look at the different ways and the different products that we support as a business. So if we start off, for example, with the raw source data itself. So this is typically used by a lot of enterprise size organizations that are well set up to work with big data. So when we talk about big data, to put it into context, we are in the realms of around 55 to 60 terabytes worth of data a month. Now, in terms of that raw source data, we license that, for example, to traffic and mapping and navigation companies, even some of the big civil engineering firms in the US and across the world. Now, we do have the ability to actually stream that data as well. So when we say stream, that is a near real-time feed from the vehicle through our platform and to the end user in under 60 seconds. Now, that's particularly useful for things like active traffic management. A lot of traffic management centers in the US will use a near real-time feed for kind of up to the minute congestion levels. Now, what we also have the ability to do is to actually make that available in batch format. So there's a lot of traffic management models being developed now, which have to rely on historic data, but historic data pre-COVID, because as we all know, the driving patterns during COVID were not typical of the commuter behavior across the world. We saw drops in some states of 50, 60% because of regional restrictions. So having access to pre and soon to be post COVID data is really, really important. Now, the final way that I'll kind of highlight is there aren't a huge amount of organizations who have the ability to deal with the raw source data for the whole of the US or globally. So what we've started to develop are aggregate data products, which take all of the raw data, aggregate that up into key metrics. So that covers our traffic intelligence and our journey intelligence products. So traffic intelligence provides key metrics such as vehicle density, average speed, average stationary time, as well as some situational contextual data as well. And then journey intelligence is very much an origin destination product, which looks at journey patterns over time, things like how long does it take to get to a particular waypoint, point of interest, or even a county or a city. Now, we also do have ways of evaluating the data as well. So within our sample preview environment, that's housed on a Databricks platform, and has the ability to allow the user to conduct queries against the data using SQL or Python. So the final question that we had was around, do we provide access to data via APIs or any other methods? And if so, are those APIs publicly available? So the answer to this is yes, we do. So as a business, we are cloud agnostic. So we are able to push data to any of the big cloud solution providers, but we really need to be very, very reactive as a business to the different requirements of a lot of different businesses now. So a lot of businesses are moving from kind of very on-prem private clouds to the more public clouds. So we have the ability to push data to any of those. Now, I think the question was specifically around APIs and can we actually make the data available via APIs? So yes, again, the answer to that is yes. So the APIs that we employ at the moment are HTTP push. So that is a kind of one-way data flow at the moment. Now, during the latter part of the year, we will be developing some kind of custom APIs. So as a good example, it might be, okay, give me the average speeds on this road section between the hours of 7 and 9. And that's employed utilizing a REST API as opposed to that kind of one directional data push. Now, as a final mention, we do kind of have the ability to provide the data via something like an SFTP. Obviously, that's not necessarily scalable, but it does show that as a business, we are able to provide that data through a variety of methods and really cater to a variety of capabilities. So, last thing for me to say is a very big thank you to those who have submitted their questions. What I would say is, if there are any further questions, please send them over, and we will endeavour to do our best to answer those. And if you haven't, then please subscribe to the roundtable, and we will see you next month.